Hello, everybody. Today is the anniversary of the death in 1913 of Harriet Tubman. She was born a slave. Her father, in the States, her father was a freed slave, but he couldn't leave his master's employ because he didn't have the wherewithal to move anywhere else. His children were not set free, but Harriet escaped and travelled 90 miles on her own, making her way eventually to one of the states where freedom was illegal. And she then devoted her life to the Underground Railroad. It was a system for enabling slaves to escape. It was neither underground nor a railroad, but they used the language of railways to describe and to keep secret the activity, so that those who helped slaves were called conductors, and the safe houses were called stations, and the route that they followed were called lines. And indeed, the slaves themselves were referred to by those helping them as packages, as freight, not as in an insulting way, but in order just to disguise what was being talked about. And Harriet Tubman must have helped probably hundreds of people in that way to escape slavery. Her nickname was Moses, because she set people free, as Moses set the people of Israel free from their captivity in Egypt. I think that's a nickname I wouldn't mind having, and maybe you would too, if it represented the fact that the way we approach people is to try and set them free. Sometimes people are trapped, aren't they, in all sorts of ways, in a particular situation or in a particular way of behaving. And if we can talk to them and help them and listen to them, I suppose primarily, to enable them to discover their freedom and the ways in which they can be free, then we're doing them a great favour. And also, if we can let people be themselves. It's so tempting, isn't it, sometimes, to have an idea of how people ought to be, to have a plan for them, to feel judgmental and think that they ought to change in a certain way. And maybe what we really need is to have an attitude to people that wants to set them free, so that they are the ones who make their decisions about their lives. It's an attitude to people which I think is Christ-like, and is very human, and enables us human beings to become who we're meant to be, and that is, of course, each uniquely individual with our own idea of what freedom is. When Harriet Tubman got to freedom, she said there was a glory over everything. The sun came out like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven. If we can help other people to know that kind of freedom, we'll be doing them a great service.